Hola y bienvenidos a Amores Patos. Hi, welcome to Amores Patos. I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm your other host, Faby. This is a podcast where two best friends get together and talk about
Duck Facts,
Duck Lore,
Duck DJ Khaled,
and DuckTales.
I have a fun intro thing
planned. Like, do you have another startling joke to tell me?
Well, think about it, probably. I can pose another question like I did last time.
Okay, pose.
Like, did the kids go to school?
I don't think they do.
How are they learning anything? Like, are they homeschooled?
I don't know. Well, we know Webby was, right? Yeah. But...
Webby didn't leave the house.
Oh no. We need to go back to that and unpack that.
Yes.
The fact that she didn't leave the house for her first...
Yeah.
Well, how many years?
Yeah, like the fact that she didn't have friends or know how, like, Afonso's arcade Chuck E. Cheese place worked.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Beakley, what's up?
Something happened there.
Yeah.
But we need to actually focus
Webby.
on... Yeah, but also focus on Beakley for a change.
Yeah.
I'm salty. I'm looking at my DuckTales figurine set,
know.
And it didn't come with Beakley.
No, they just do her dirty.
Yeah.
She's part of the main, 8?
8. And the pack had 7.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you move the back row to the side, she could have fit.
She could have fit. They just sold Beakley, what the hell?
They do. I don't have anything of
the
hers.
figurines, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's her start. Toys, you need to,
get on it.
Yeah.
I know you're giving us Gizmoduck and, Lunaris and shit, but where's Beakley at?
Yeah. Or where are the other girls?
Yeah, well, Lilina... Who else? Stella is gonna have one, I assume, right?
Yeah.
They were waiting, so she's gonna have, her, prosthetic and everything. So they're gonna wait. But...
Deliver!
Anyway. Today we are recapping Season 2, Episode 10 of DuckTales, the 87-cent solution.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the most buck-wild episode of DuckTales.
Yeah,
to date.
Yeah, I was telling Anna that it's crazy, oh my god, what's the Glomgold episode called?
Oh, Battle of Duke Baloney.
Yeah, the Battle of Duke. It has, it's also, insane, but in, weird, different atmosphere.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, because Battle of Duke Baloney had this very gray,
surreal, but, melancholy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this one is just...
insane.
Yeah, it goes to, horror movie, almost.
Yeah.
The level of... Lots of stuff.
It's disturbing.
Yes, it's disturbing.
Again, if I was a child, this would be really, really creepy.
I think, because I remember when they released Battle of Duke Baloney, the crew was like, I can't believe they let us do this. And I'm like, how the fuck did they let you do this? This one is so much worse. In terms of insanity.
Literal insanity.
Yeah.
And just the style, of... art, it changes a little because to fit the mood, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's a lot. And so I think in that level, and then with plot stuff, I think it's a nice continuation of Battle of Duke Baloney.
Yeah,
because we haven't had a Glomgold episode since that.
Yeah,
episode. We haven't seen him really. I think last time we actually saw him was Hercules and Duckburg. I think very briefly.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's the last time we saw him. So the last Glomgold episode. With him, playing a significant role, was Ballad of Duke Baloney. Mm-hmm. So this is a nice continuation of that. Of Glomgold's character arc.
Yeah, like, to the max, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I love Glomgold. He's actually really interesting.
I love Glomgold. He is probably my favorite villain.
Yeah, it's weird to say that.
Yeah, so it's just like I like in the original series I like tolerated / hated him.
Yeah,
because he was kind of boring.
Yeah, and here I'm just like, what is he gonna do next?
Yes, yeah, you really do not know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
Yes.
So the story for this episode was by Frank Angonis, Madison Bateman, Colin Evanson, Christian Makelhays, and Bob Snow. It was written by Bob Snow. It was directed by Matthew Humphreys, and the storyboards were by Stephanie Gonzaga, Von Tata, and Brandon Warren. And I just realized I forgot to write my watches. But we have Neighborhood Watch. No. With Living Duck Watch. Also no. And you know, I have to come up with a thing on the spot. Benzino Gasolini. Watch. Couldn't think of anything.
Well, you got a nice little place here. Only hotel, I'm never stay inside.
He's not here.
No. But God. This episode's also just full of references. Yes. Not even just to, like, old DuckTales. To
just,
things.
Yeah, stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, let's I'll get into it then.
Yes.
So we open up at the bin.
Yeah.
It's, like, morning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that it's Scrooge, Webby, and Huey. And we see that Huey is worried about Scrooge because he is pretty sick.
Yeah, he's like he's carrying like a bag of groceries.
Yeah,
and he's telling him,
there's he has the teapot in there, oranges, apples, orange juice, probably like sick person stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, you need to rest. Like you're not doing well.
Yeah,
and Scrooge is like sniffly and stuff, but he's like very much like I have things to do.
Yeah, he's in a meeting in the morning.
Yeah. And a cold's not gonna stop him.
Yes,
he's very grumpy.
Yes, he's very upset because they're bugging him about it a lot. And it's when Alan Young makes him not fuck with Alan Young. David Tennant is like he sounds stuffed up.
Yeah,
like, he sounds sick. And there's a little brief thing where Scrooge does the opening jaw thing you do when your ears are stuffed up. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a little neat detail.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just, he's quite, because it's Huey who is telling Webby that he's worried about Scrooge being sick. Yeah. Because considering his advanced age.
Yeah, and in
the meantime, he's doing that opening jaw thing where you, like, kind of poke your ear and try to get it to clear. Mm-hmm. So that was a neat detail. Yeah. It's like a thing in the back, like... I don't know, it was a human thing. Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, that's a neat detail. But he obviously is pissed that they're saying he's old.
Yeah. He's like, advanced age!
A stuffy nose and clogged ears won't kill me.
Yeah, he's vanquished mythical beasts, demonic armies, robot uprisings!
Which would probably wear out someone half his advanced age. Advanced age?
And then at that moment, they're walking towards the elevator, and out comes Frank's son,
Manny, the headless man horse, the intern.
Yes.
He has like a cart with what was apparently science waste, miscellaneous pieces of technology with light bulbs. Mm-hmm. And he's asking Scrooge with his Morse code thing where he should put this.
Yeah.
And Scrooge, not bothering to actually know what he's saying, is like, I'm not sick.
Yeah, and he clangs on, like he hits it.
Yeah, he hits the cart and we hear something fall out.
Yeah.
And he keeps walking. He walks into the elevator past Manny, and Manny's like, that's not what I... Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You're gonna go dump these into the water now.
Yeah. He's like, whatever. And so he walks off, and the kids join Scrooge in the elevator. Mm-hmm. And so they follow Scrooge into his office.
Yeah.
And Huey keeps trying to tell him, like, according to the Witcher guidebook, you could have, but Scrooge just walks into the vault and closes the door behind him.
You just see poor little Huey like, oh.
Yeah.
Just goodbye.
Trying to talk to him. Mm-hmm. And Scrooge is like, alright, he's all I need is a dip in my money bin, and then I'll be good to go for my meeting.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So he goes and, jumps in, and it's all chill. He's having a fun time. Yeah. And then he starts to realize that something's wrong.
He looks around his bin. He does like a full turn. It's very funny. And he realizes he's been robbed.
Yeah, he like yells.
Yes.
I've been robbed!
It's funny how you just like there's like a full like pirouette.
Like it's actual liquid, and
Yeah.
not like tons and tons of metal.
Yeah. And we see that at the same time all this is happening, Owlson and Glomgold are in the bin as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're the meeting Scrooge has in the morning. It's for the Dimes for Ducklings charity thing, which is still a thing.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. So Owlson is... I'm not sure what she was she CEO last time? That was...
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what her like title is anymore, considering Glomgold's back. But she still obviously has like a role in the company.
Yeah.
And
so she's trying to get him to like focus, because we see that he's sitting down on a chair, but he's not really
look
like...
like he was asleep.
Yeah.
He's like slumped over.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, like, I know you have that stupid fed going on with Scrooge, but we still have this charity to run together, so you need to act like a respectable person.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's insisting to Owlson that he may have a plan to beat Scrooge, win the bet, and take over his company. To which Owlson is like, fuck no. Like, because they have a big whiteboard thing when she flips over and reveals Nest. No elaborate schemes today.
Yeah.
Or any other T word.
Yeah, because he's like, how about tomorrow?
Yeah.
How about Tuesday?
That's also a T.
Nest, no elaborate schemes today.
What about tonight?
No.
Tomorrow?
Still a T.
Well, at the very least, Tuesday!
No more schemes.
And she's like smacking him around with the whiteboard.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, and he's like arguing, and she's like, no, like, no more schemes. Like,
Yeah.
we're a serious multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah, he's saying that he can do actual good.
Yeah.
Like that with this charity, with the power they have, they can be a force for good and use the company to help people.
Yeah.
But Glomgold is like insisting on ruining basically their image.
Yeah. With all these dumb schemes.
Yeah. And she smacks him again with the board.
Yeah, and he's like on the ground at this point.
Yeah, and so she asks him like if he wants to beat Scrooge, he has to be more like him.
Yeah.
Be poised and
respectable
and calm.
Yeah, and in bursts.
Scrooge bursts in like, it was you!
And then he immediately gets on the table, which is one of those long tables.
The long conference room tables, and Glomgold sits down.
Yeah.
At the end of the table on his chair, and Glomgold's like, "Yes, it was." Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He just immediately takes credit for anything that might inconvenience Scrooge.
Yeah. And then so Scrooge is all like, "Oh, you stole from me."
Yeah.
And Zen is like, "He's been here.
Yeah.
Like he's been with me.
Like I have the headache to prove it."
Yeah.
Scrooge insists though that the money is missing because he did binventory last night. Love that. It's fun. We said Owlson seems a little bit worried about him. She's like, "Are you okay? You seem a little the opposite of sane."
Yeah. And he kind of like,
Yeah, like he's the opposite person, does not trust them.
Yeah.
So we said he's banning them and all non-essential all non-authorized employees from the building.
Mm-hmm. So it's going into sort of lockdown.
Yeah.
Not as bad as it's going to get, but yeah.
Yeah, because he's still he's still convinced something's up. Like he was robbed, and so he's like so all non-authorized employees are banned from the building.
Yeah,
and so he needs his top men to figure out what's going on.
So we move to the scene. The elevator's opening, and then his top men are Dewey, Huey, and Webby.
Yeah, 3 children.
3 kids.
His niece and nephews.
Yeah.
And he leads them to the security room. Mm-hmm. And it's a computer bank with cameras everywhere, and Gyro's there.
Yeah.
He's showing Scrooge like recordings of like their security system. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's so state of the art that there's no way someone could break in.
Yeah. And we see like videos of tests that Gyro did with Donald. And poor Donald.
Poor Donald. The first one, he's basically acting out the scene from the intro to the original DuckTales, or from the episode Armstrong, episode like 5 or something. It's really early on. It's one of the ones where I think, is that one of the Launchpad being like, oh, I'm a failure?
I think so.
Right, because Armstrong's like cooler than him, or like and does because he lifts the rocks off the train, and Launchpad can't do that shit because he's a person, and Armstrong is a robot. Yeah, that weird thing with Launchpad being obsessed with being a hero.
We've been so blessed by this Launchpad that I forgot that was one of his main traits.
It's like almost every episode with him in it has to do with him obsessing over wanting to be a hero. Thank God they introduced an actual superhero and just dropped that.
Yeah, because that was the worst, especially like when they're in the TV set and he's like,
oh my Christ, yeah,
that like
the kids like the Jim Kirk ripoff, and then he's not a real hero. He's an actor, you dumbass.
Like we know. Do you know that? Though?
You know? It's important to me that you know that. Anyway, so Gyros is using his security systems to
kill
Donald. To beat on Donald. He has and that any intruders would be caught and put in cold storage, awaiting genetic experimentation in the Gyrobot apocalypse.
Excuse me?
What,
sir? And then he goes on to say it's all in the budget.
Yeah.
And then Scrooge is like, wait, what?
He's like, oh, everything's fine.
If a thief had entered this building, he'd have been caught and placed in cold storage, awaiting genetic experimentation for Operation Gyrobot Apocalypse. It's all in the budget. What? Nothing. Everything's fine.
And we also see that Huey tries to give Scrooge, like, a little...
soup, in a spoon. He's like, it's a good, restorative nutrient.
Yeah, don't say chicken soup.
Yeah, Gyro's right there, Huey.
Oh, no!
It could be his uncle.
Oh, God. I hate it.
We've talked about the BoJack Horseman thing with their horrible dystopia of how they eat animal food, right?
I think so. I haven't seen the show, though.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned it.
Yeah.
If I haven't watched BoJack Horseman, there's an episode about it.
Yeah.
Where it's super dystopian, and they fully acknowledge that, and then just live their lives.
Oh, God.
Eating chicken nuggets.
You do what you gotta do.
But Gyros is not helping his image as a not evil scientist.
No, yeah. Oh my God, Gyro, please.
And we see but Scrooge still is not convinced.
Yeah.
Because Gyro's telling him there's no way someone could break in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they'd be in cold storage and
and they're possibly dead.
Yes. Yeah, because there's flames and spikes. Balls with spikes on them.
Yeah.
Maces.
Maces without the stick.
Yeah, whatever. And trapdoor and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So Scrooge isn't convinced.
Mm-hmm.
So he has them call Gizmo Duck.
Yes.
And we haven't seen Gizmo Duck in a while. And so we see a bit of his progression from just starting out to where he is now. Mm-hmm. Just because he's keeping tabs on villains.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. So he knows to do that.
Yeah,
so it's been a decent amount of time that he's been Gizmo Duck now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because he goes, okay, so we know that Glomgold was here. He was with Zan, Allison, and they were at the meeting.
Yes.
And then he goes on to say that Mark Beeks was at Coachella.
It was live posting.
Yes.
They can't say live tweeting.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, considering it would fit so much better. And
that joke punched me in the face.
Yes. Coachella! I always see a picture of him at Coachella and I wanted to die. No, it's great, but terrible.
Yeah.
Because it's so in character, and I hate it.
It's I can see him.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
And we see Ma Beagle is at Con-Con, the Convicts Convention.
And she's signing autographs.
For $75.
What a steal.
Haha. And then Scrooge asks where Magica is.
Yes.
We're thinking our first mention of Magica since the Shadow War.
Since she was let go.
Yes. And Magica's location is still unknown.
Yeah.
And then we see Scrooge is obviously still not. He's still convinced something's up. Even though none of his villains, it looks like, were involved.
Yeah.
He's still not. He's still not relaxed at all. He's more paranoid now than before than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still Huey, Webby, and Dewey, and they're back in Scrooge's office.
Yeah. And Huey says, like, I get that this is a really bad situation.
Yeah.
He's like, but Scrooge, like, Uncle Scrooge should still be resting because, you know, he's sick.
Yeah,
like, he's congested.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he says, his nasal passages are dangerously clogged. We hear Scrooge blowing his nose in the background. Yeah, that Scrooge is, he's in no condition to take on this kind of stress.
Yeah.
Which, no, he isn't.
No. But then Webby goes on to be like, well, you know, like, you'd be worried, too, if your, what's it called?
Your impenetrable fortress was robbed.
I get that this is a big deal, but Scrooge is in no condition to take on this stress right now. His nasal passages are dangerously clogged.
You'd be concerned, too, if your impenetrable fortress were robbed.
I mean, yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like, the money bin is literally a fortress. And the fact that someone got in and stole stuff without anyone seeing them is troublesome.
Yeah, like, it's
worrying. And, I think it's Webby who's like, I'm surprised that Louis is in.
And then he bursts in.
He's like, we were robbed! He's like, how much did you lose?
And this is the first time we actually hear of the amount.
Yeah.
So we get, like, dramatic shot of Scrooge turning.
Yeah.
And he's like, 87 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, because up to this point, we didn't know. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
It's assumed there's a significant amount.
Yeah.
But no. And Dewey voicing everyone, being like, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Like, was there 2,000,087 cents?
And then so Scrooge goes on. He starts, like, from now on, he's going to be very unhinged. Like, he's slowly unhinged.
He's very slowly unraveling at the seams.
So he goes on to say, like, it's not about the amount. Like...
It's the bin's been compromised.
Yeah. So.
Give it to me straight, Uncle Scrooge. How much did you lose?
87 cents.
Sorry, did I miss a part of that? Like $2 million and 87 cents, or...
The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the bin has been compromised.
Yeah, and I think Webby's defending him because he was like, if it's a couple of coins, how could you possibly know that?
Yeah, like...
And Webby is again defending Scrooge that Scrooge knows every cent in his bin.
Yeah,
like that's and Scrooge is like, that's right. Like he's like he's talking about how like he has to know all this stuff because that's how he stays smarter than the Smarties. And then he's like, from there it's a slippery slope to becoming smart as the Smarties. Yeah. And then, like, less smart. And then in between, then he's just getting itchy.
Yeah, we see him, like, scratch himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's this very, like, it's like this shift into, like, him not being alright. Because he's, like, scratching himself real bad.
So then Dewey goes on to say, like, did you check your pockets?
And he's like, did I check my pockets? Like, and he actually, like, just stuff his hands in his pockets. He's like, no, they're not in my pockets. And he's still scratching himself like, in between all this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Like, even more frantically scratching now. And we see, but Huey is still telling him, like, there's no way for you to actually know that. You have to count every coin in the bin.
So he makes the kids count every coin in the bin.
It's not going well, because that's insane.
Yeah.
How do you keep track of them? Like, it's like, I don't know how many feet, but, like, they're on the top of a pile of coins.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not working, and everyone's mad. And as someone who, I literally counted, like, buckets of coins and rolled them up into things. Even that was tedious enough.
Yeah.
Like,
and imagine, like, you're sitting on top of a pile that's, like, in a room that's, like...
It's a whole building.
It's a whole building! Like, it's, like... I can't even describe how much money this is. It's the bin.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's impossible to count this.
Well, they have to bring in, like, OG Fenton.
Yes. And he has to just look at it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this much is here.
You're missing 87 cents.
Yeah. If OG Fenton was here, problem solved. They would know.
Yeah.
Scrooge is right.
Oh my gosh.
But, so, back, Dewey's pissed. Huey's not Huey out. Louis kind of pissed.
Yeah.
But, Huey's just worried.
Yeah.
He's saying that, that Scrooge needs rest.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much pressure on him right now.
Mm-hmm. And he's very sweet. Like, he's a very, very sweet boy.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, because Scrooge seems off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't his normal...
Like, he's not just sick. Like, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than just the cold.
Yeah, so he says, like, he needs, like, 8 hours of sleep. When he says 8, that throws Louis off of his counting.
Yeah.
And Louis gets really, really mad.
He's like, wait, shit. Well, we see Webby again defends Scrooge.
Yeah.
She's like, he's never been more on. He's at the height of his powers. Which, what the hell does that mean?
World domination.
I love that line, though. Just like, he's
at the height of his powers.
What does that even mean, Webby?
And like, always like, he's losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
We make these kids curse a lot.
He's never been more on. He's at the height of his powers.
He's losing his mind.
This is all canon to what they're saying.
Yes.
But so Huey obviously goes to check his Junior Witch guidebook to check the symptoms.
Yeah.
And he can't find it for a second.
Yeah.
Because it's not under his hat.
Yeah, which is weird. And he kind of panics, but it's like on the ground, but it's open to a page.
Yes, a page on gold fever.
Yeah. And he kind of says, like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But okay. But he's like, oh shit, like...
Yeah, see, like, gold fever, it's caused from prolonged exposure to gold.
Yeah.
And the symptoms are confusion, paranoia, itchiness,
yeah.
And going to outlandish extremes.
And it may be fatal.
Yeah. And gold fever is a reference to the DuckTales, like, original movie. What was that called? Like, DuckTales... The Treasure of the Golden Sun, I think?
Is it?
It's a full movie. It's like the 5-part episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, something with the ship. You
can always Google it.
Yeah.
Yes. You're right.
Don't give up the ship. There we go. And it's so it's the 5-part episode premiere of DuckTales, the original series, the, Treasure of the Golden Suns. And it has like fun stuff, like, indigenous stereotypes.
Oh, I fell for it. I thought you were actually going to tell the fun stuff.
And, what else is there? Latin American stereotypes. I can't forget those.
Yeah. We have, Joaquin Slowly.
Yes.
Which I'll admit, that's kind of a funny
fun.
fun.
No, that's fun. That's fun. So they do it as, like, colonialism in, like, modern day, and I'm like legit, like, 16th century 17th century colonialism in modern day.
Yeah.
Which is buck wild. Oh, and then, Cold Duck, where Webby does blackface, technically. Because Webby has to disguise herself as a penguin.
Yes.
So
she has a little penguin friend.
So,
Yeah, and Mrs. Beakley helps.
Yeah, it's like the one episode...
She does!
Yeah, she does. But Cold Duck, I think, is the one episode where Beakley is not lame.
Yeah, she's, like, actually competent, which then sets you up for failure as being excited about Beakley's character.
Yeah. So, wah, wah. And then El Capitan, who is... Because gold fever is a real thing as well. In Treasure of the Golden Suns, in the last part, too much of a gold thing.
Yeah.
Where Scrooge starts to, like, lose his shit over all this gold he wants. It's him, and then the villain of these overarching episodes, who was never seen again.
Yeah.
El Capitan, he's Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
has like a sort of
an accent. Accent.
Yeah.
Spanish
accent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've waited 400 years for this.
400 years? You're mad!
Mad? Of course I'm mad. I'm mad for gold.
And he is 400 years old or some shit because his desire for gold kept him alive. Whatever. And he has gold fever too, and so at the end, like, he and Scrooge are, like, trying to kill each other to get the gold. And, Scrooge is fine at the end.
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, that's where Scrooge has a knife. Like, because they're on, like, a raft thing, and Scrooge pulls out a knife to, like, pop the... to, like... poke a hole in the raft so they can get away from some alligators. And he pulls out this giant ass like hunting knife, and Beakley's like, "Run, Mr. McDuck, no! There has to be another way!" And he's like, "What the fuck,
I'm gonna kill someone off the raft, and we're gonna put them to the alligator." Oh my god!
And Scrooge is like, "What the fuck, bitch? I'm poking a hole in the raft."
Mr. McDuck, you've got to do something!
You're right, Bigley. I am going to do something.
Mr. McDuck, wait! Don't!
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's what that's referencing.
Mm-hmm.
And, so while he was reading this list of symptoms, they're looking up at Scrooge as he's displaying these symptoms.
Yeah, he's... David Tennant, he's just making weird Scottish sick noises.
Yeah. He's like, he pulls off his spats and like looks at them like, what the fuck is this? And like pulls at them.
Yeah.
He starts scratching himself. He just gets himself like muttering to himself.
Just like,
yeah. He's like, yeah.
I'll fight you. Don't think you can get away with this wordless.
And so, you know, they're really worried, and Huey pulls out,
face mask.
Yeah, like the surgical, like the, what are they called? Fucking, when you're sick, you wear them, or when there's people who are sick.
It's not a respirator mask?
No. It's like it is like a surgical mask.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. I should know, because we have to wear them for a while.
Yeah, when there were the fires. Well, that was different, though.
Yeah.
Those were like air filtration ones.
Well, it depends where you got yours, because...
Where'd you get yours?
Some on campus, before they got, like, the actual ones, they were just giving, like, at least have that to protect yourself.
Did you ever get a good one?
I did, because campus was giving them out.
Yeah, this was during the Chico fires.
Mm-hmm.
It's Chico's north of where we live.
Yeah,
and it was
in,
like, over, like, near Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. It was really bad. We didn't get affected by the fire, but we got affected by the ash.
Yeah, which has never happened, like, this bad.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't go outside without wearing the mask, without risking lung damage.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was bad. Like, it'd be, like, hazy. Like, fully hazy.
Yeah, the first day, it looked like you're walking in, like, a fog, but you're, like, high-key aware that it's... ash.
Yeah, so everyone's wearing... I remember I went to the movie theaters on one of the nights, and everyone was wearing the mask. It felt like some, like, dystopian future shit.
Well, it felt dystopian because we literally had to... They canceled class for, like, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And we were all like... Well, at that...
Before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving, Like, they were just like, go home.
Yeah.
Because it was really bad. But you would, like... Sometimes you have to be, like, on campus for something, and there's, like, no one, or the people you do see are wearing, like, these masks.
Yes, as soon as we were going to the theater.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing masks. It's like, oh, God.
But, yeah.
Anyway, Huey was wearing one of those, like, he was wearing, like, just a normal, like, sick mask. And then, because he's now really worried, but Webby's, like, saying, like, oh, like, because about the, like, going to outlandish extremes thing, especially, she's like, Scrooge is just, like, eccentric. He bought a country last week to save on foreign postage. Which...
Wow.
What country did he... How do you buy a country?
I don't know. He's just so...
I love
powerful.
Scrooge's priorities are wild with how he spends his money.
Yeah.
Like... He didn't want to... Like, he rents the kids' suits.
Oh, yeah.
With plastic lining so they're cheaper. And so he can dip in them. So he rents them suits, but he'll buy a country.
Yes.
To save on postage.
Yes. I guess for the long run, he'll know if he's worth it. Whatever. Ridiculous.
I love that. Just because, like, original series Scrooge never spent money.
No.
Like, on anything. Like, and it would often lead to them getting in trouble. Because, like, half the reasons they would get in trouble is because a villain in disguise would tell him, oh, we're giving you a deal on this thing. Come with us and, like, it's like, we're giving you a deal. And he's like, oh, totes, I love deals. Without asking what the deal was, how much money he was saving, and just... be told he was getting a deal, and he would go along with it, and then he would end up homeless, or tied up in the middle of a desert, or in jail.
Yeah. Or it could go this other way. His nephews would ask him, can we please have $1 each for some ice cream? And he'd be like, fuck you, here's $1 for the three of you.
Share the ice cream.
Share the ice cream. So then they'd like come up with some scheme and completely ruin the economy of the world.
Yes.
You know?
Was it a bike they wanted? That was allowance day, right?
Well...
Or so it was another one. Where they ruined the world's economy.
It might have been another one.
Damn!
Wait, which was the one with the economy and which was the one with time? Because there's two separate ones.
Oh, fuck. Allowance days where they convince Scrooge it's the next day.
Yes.
And then, there was one where they're doubling everything.
Yeah, they're doubling because they want more money to be able to get...
That was Do, Re, Mi?
Yes. Yeah. Because they get Gyro's machine, and then they double the coin, so they can each get an ice cream.
There we go!
Yeah, and then it probably escalates into some more, because they have more money now.
Yeah, I think either they keep using it, and then the money keeps multiplying without them doing anything anymore. Yeah,
and then all of Gyro's shit also keeps multiplying, because he also multiplied.
Yes. Anyway, so Scrooge is losing his shit.
Yeah, because
he's going, a step further.
Yeah.
And he is putting the bin on total lockdown.
Yeah. And then, so now Webby's like, okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, so all non-secreted personnel. So everyone but them, Gyro, Gizmo Duck, and Manny.
Yeah. And it's insane.
And, because, the metal, door security things slam over all the windows and all the doors.
Yeah.
And the laser grid, actual laser grid.
Mm-hmm. From, the top all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. Nothing can get in or out. And so all non-security personnel are banished from the bin.
So then we cut to,
this is, okay. I'm not sure how much time has gone by.
Yeah.
Because the way they talk about it might be days.
Mm-hmm.
That this whole thing progresses over. And, this is where Scrooge starts to get from bad to worse.
Yes.
Christ. You open up, he's in his office.
Mm-hmm.
He spins turns around in his chair and we see how awful he looks.
He looks really, really bad.
But at this point, it's kind of still funny.
Yeah.
This is just unnerving, though, this part at the beginning, because he's because he's on TV.
Yes.
He has a television camera set up inside his office.
Mm-hmm. And we see that Roxanne and the cameraman are outside, so they couldn't go in. But they're connected to the newscast van.
Yeah. And we see his whisker sideburn things are looking a little wild, and his eyes are very big and very red and bloodshot. And and
it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah. Because this at first is because he's saying how his precious wee ones have been stolen, have been taken, and so you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's talking about his kids.
Yeah. But citizens, by now you know that my wee ones have been kidnapped.
Yes.
And then I'm like,
You're like, what the fuck? Now the kids are gone?
Yeah.
But no. And he shows a picture to the camera of him holding 87 cents.
Really, really lovingly.
Yes, he's looking at them tenderly.
Yes.
And he describes them his three quarters, a spry gang of nickels, and some scared little pennies.
And he sounds like he's on the verge of crying.
Yes, he looks in genuine distress.
Yeah. He's like, I miss you very much.
Yes. If you're listening, I miss you very much.
By now you know that my precious wee ones were kidnapped this morning. Here is a recent picture. 2 quarters, 2 dimes, a spry gang of nickels, and a couple of scared little pennies. Coins, if you're watching. I miss you very much.
And it's Louis manning the camera.
Yeah.
And Huey's like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And Webby's like, oh, Scrooge loves money. Big surprise.
Yeah.
And Louis defends him too. We have to make sure no more money gets taken.
Mm-hmm.
This could just be the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
we see that Scrooge Manny comes out with a wheelbarrow of sacks of money.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, do you think this is ransom?
This weights, whoever took, my 87 cents. He's like, a ransom? No.
He's like, this is the bounty.
Yeah, $2 million for whoever can bring him, the head of whoever stole his 87 cents. So,
and then that Louis like, fuck, he's lost it.
Yeah, he's lost it. He has gold fever.
Yeah.
We gotta stop him.
So he puts on the mask as well. That's the sign of who has turned.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, this is wild.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, there's no significance to this 87 cents. There's 87 cents have been stolen.
Yeah. Just the fact that they have been stolen is what's, like, making him so distressed.
Yeah. And, so Mr. Scrooge later is doing, like, a perimeter check of all the security cameras. He still looks not awesome.
No.
Eyes are very red. And he looks bad.
Yeah, it's, like, he's just gonna keep getting worse.
Yes, I mean, it gets so much worse. And we see Dewey and Webby are still, like, on his side.
Yeah. They're like, what's the plan? Like, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah.
Like, they're talking about, like, traps in very, like, simple ways, like rope traps or, like, you know, things like that. But no.
And he's like, oh, no, I have something better planned. And we see, we go to Launchpad in a plane just flying over the bin. And we see the laser grid, which kills a bird.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that.
A normal-ass bird.
Oh, no.
Flies into it and falls.
Oh, shit.
So that bird is dead.
Oh, no.
A normal bird, not a person bird.
Oh, no. That made it so much worse.
To clarify.
An intern shows up for his first day at work at the bin, runs into the laser, and dies. Rest in peace. But we're outside now.
No, yeah. We're on the bridge leading up to the bin.
Yeah.
And a bird dies. And
we see Gizmo Duck, like, you know, patrolling.
Yeah, which reminded me of, Gizmo Duck's kind of purpose in the original series.
Yeah, that's what he did?
He literally security for the bin.
Yeah.
That was introduced in, the episode Full Metal Duck. Where he's literally just bin security. And he also just kind of does superhero stuff on the side.
Yeah, but it's not his job.
No. Like, he's like, I'll do that too.
Yeah.
I like in this, Scrooge hired him to be a hero.
Yeah.
He's like his sponsor, I guess. Like, he pays him to keep Duckburg safe, because I guess most of the villains are after Scrooge, so.
I thought it was, like, a nice, like, to, like,
you could just the whole patrolling thing.
Yeah.
But we see Scrooge is starting to look a little bit worse.
Yeah. He's wearing tissue boxes.
Yes.
Like Kleenex,
on his
like
feet.
the American I am.
Yes. It's our brand. Like Band-Aids.
Q-tips.
Which I never fucking realized that Band-Aids are the name of the brand.
I didn't either!
They're that all-consuming. That's why in shows they say bandages. I'm like, the fuck, it's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, what's a Band-Aid? Like, Band-Aid just sounds like that's what the thing should be called.
Yeah, and I hate it.
Yeah. I hate that they're called plasters as well.
Oh, God, I hate that. British people, that sucks.
Yeah, that sounds like a cast.
Yeah. It's a Band-Aid. It just... Bandage sounds better than that.
Curita.
Yeah,
there you go.
Thank you. That's even better. That's cute. Anyway, so he has, like, Launchpad patrolling in the sky, Gizmo Duck patrolling on the ground, and Scrooge is, like, bragging to someone named Chester.
Yes. He's like, take that, Chester!
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah, so they kind of ignore that for now. And, Huey tries to get Scrooge to go home and get some rest. He's like, okay, so looks like everything's taken care of.
Yeah.
How about you go home and get some rest now? And God, Scrooge's eye bags are real bad.
Yeah.
They paying rent.
Yes.
They're so big.
I told Anna earlier, it's looking at him is like looking at those really ugly close-ups of SpongeBob characters.
But just the whole
time. I was watching this late at night and I kept screenshotting. I'm like, nasty.
Yeah, he looks real bad.
No.
Even like his eyelids are like purple.
Yeah, he looks really bad.
Yeah.
But he fucking loses it.
He like snaps and he's like, no, I can't leave, don't you understand? And,
oh, he looks like a gremlin.
Yeah, so Scrooge, he's like, I can't rest. And he, like, his cane is an axe?
Yes.
Has it always been an axe?
I hope so.
I really hope so. It's a huge axe.
Yes.
Like,
it's like
basically the size of
double-bladed.
double-bladed axe, like a fucking medieval orc or some shit.
He looks like a gremlin.
Yes,
really
he does.
Ugly.
Because his eyes are really huge now with his, like, panic and fervor. And, I just really hope it's always been an axe. Because that's so much fun.
Yes.
But it's like half the size of him. It's huge. And he's, like, on his shoulder. And he's saying how, like, that he can't rest, he can't be too careful, that, the faceless fiend stole his spats. And And it's like a new development now.
Yeah.
And he's telling Huey that he made some new ones out of the tissue boxes that Huey left him.
Yeah. He's like, thank you.
Yeah. He's very like, thank you. And he's saying that,
like that it was Chester.
Yeah, he calls out Chester again.
Mm-hmm. The faceless fiend struck again. He stole my spats. But I mean, you went out of those tissue boxes you left me, lad. Ah! Here's the sick one now, Chester!
And this is when the kids are like, oh, and Webby asks, Chester?
Who's that? And then he's like, it's like the imp.
He's the unknown. Yeah. He's the question. He's over there!
So startling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And he points down the bridge, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Because they all turn to look. And Dewey is like, I'll get him!
Yeah.
And he runs to catch Chester.
Yeah. But then he calls for Gizmo Duck, and he's like, Chester's right there.
Open fire. Open fire.
And Fenton obviously only sees Dewey running.
Yeah, so he looks over and he's like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
But he's insisting. He's like waving the axe around. Yeah. And I love Gizmo Duck's kind of like holding onto the axe so it doesn't like hit him in the face.
Or anyone else.
He's like kind of holding the edge of it like, ooh. Be careful with that. But he's insisting still. And Huey is telling Gizmo Duck he's not of sound mind.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. Don't fire anything. Because he tells him, like, you have to. And at this point, like, Scrooge gets on top of Gizmo Duck.
Yeah, he comes onto his back and pounds on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Like, he's demanding that he open fire.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And, we see the suit maybe still has some bugs, or maybe Scrooge did something when you whacked it.
Yeah.
And so...
Because Gizmo Duck had kind of opened up, like, this missile ports.
The midriff missile things.
Yeah.
But when Huey runs up, like, don't you dare fire. Yeah. He's not of sound mind. Yeah. Don't listen to him.
But then, with all of this pounding and hitting, he's, like, it goes haywire, and they fire.
Yes.
And Scrooge at least has a sound of mind to, like, still grab the kids.
Like, the minute they fire, he's tackling the kids to the ground.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Like, he doesn't, like, he's not just, like, whoa, like, completely, like, losing his shit. He does protect the kids.
Yeah.
But, this is very much the implication that he confused Dewey for this made-up thing.
Yeah, for Chester.
And so this is the point where... it stops being funny.
Yeah.
Really. It's funny still.
It's funny, but maybe not to them.
Yes. It starts getting more disturbing.
Yeah.
Scrooge's state of mind.
Yes.
His whole being stops being as funny. Because the missiles fire up.
Yes.
And they hit the sun chaser.
Yes. And Launchpad here with the quips, he's like, I haven't even hit the ground yet. Yeah. Like, the plane's on fire now.
Yeah. And so now the plane starts to, like, turn and is crash landing.
Yeah.
From very high up.
Yeah. And it's gonna crash on the bridge, but it's gonna crash probably straight on Dewey, who's further down on the bridge.
Well, we don't say that quite yet, because Gizmo Duck goes to, stop it, to move the plane or catch something. Mm-hmm. But his helicopter won't open out of the back of the helmet, presumably because Scrooge was hitting it.
Yeah.
And it got stuck.
Yeah. So he's like, I can't do anything about it. Someone do something about it. But he's still going to get, like, Dewey.
No, he runs because, speeds away, whatever.
Yes.
Because the plane is going to miss Scrooge and the kids, but it's heading basically to where Dewey is.
Yeah. Because he was going to stop the plane, but he can't.
Yeah. So he has to race this plane that's falling out of the sky to save Dewey, who's, like, paralyzed with fear.
Yeah, because it's like fucking.
Like,
it's a huge plane.
Where the fuck are you gonna go? He's on a bridge.
Yeah.
You can't. And you have, like, the water straight down on either side, like, and he's, like, 10.
Yeah.
So he's panicking. And
Launchpad.
Launchpad's fucking lying, because he sees that he's gonna hit Dewey.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, it's every nightmare I've ever had. Launchpad!
Launchpad lies awake at night, haunted by what he can do with the plane.
What the hell, Launchpad? Why is your fear, like, killing Dewey specifically?
It's his best friend. Duh.
God.
He's afraid of killing his family in a horrible
crash. Launchpad, are you okay?
We've determined he's not. We need to go back to that.
Oh, fuck. What's it called?
The buddy system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he feels like he's replaceable. Anyway. Gizmo Fenton barely gets Dewey out of the way, and he grabs him and throws them both into the water.
Yeah, yeah. And he, has little,
inflatable raft thing that pops up, and so they float to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously everybody knows that this happened because the plane crashed in front of the money bin. And we see on the news with Roxanne Featherly that authorities are calling this Bridge Mageddon.
The fuck?
Authorities.
What? Everyone just had a meeting and they're like, what are we going to call this? What are we going to call this?
Yeah. Brainstorming session. He's got to be quippy.
Yeah.
Because of Scrooge's increasingly irrational behavior, like this, McDuck stocks are going down, and investors are starting to give their money to safer, more stable businesses. And she's like, "Wait, this can't be right." Glomgold Industries,
and even Elson,
Zan and Glomgold are at Glomgold Industries watching the news, and they see this, and
she's like, "Oh,
shit." He's like sipping tea, quickly throws it down to be like, "You see, Scrooge, I'm more sane than you are."
He goes to his
he's
glass
yelling
window.
at the window,
I'm more sane than you. And Allison's doubt that.
Yeah.
Hear that, MacDuck? I'm more stable than you are.
Debatable.
He's just straight up yelling at a window. No.
Oh my god.
And then, oh boy. We're back at the money bin. I assume maybe the next day or something. I assume time is passing.
Yeah.
Scrooge looks like shit.
Yes. He also sees all.
We're
back in the security.
Yes, he's back in the security room and he's obsessing over what he can and can't see. And his clothes are starting to look a little bit baggy on him.
Yeah.
And he looks god awful, his eyes and stuff.
So then we see Gizmo Duck comes in really seriously and he's like, oh, there's been a
break-in.
Yeah.
And Scrooge is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And he goes with him and he rides on Gizmo Duck's back again, which is a development I really like. But they burst into his office and they see that there's no robbery.
No.
It's all of his family minus Webby and employees staging an intervention.
Yes.
And this is the only way they could get him to come, was Gizmo going to get him.
Yeah.
And Scrooge is annoyed.
He's really annoyed.
Yeah. So we have Launchpad,
who begins this intervention.
Yes.
He takes out a birthday card
and starts reading it.
Yes. And he's like,
it's
Mr.
not the
McGee.
years in your life, it's the life in your years. Happy birthday!
Dear Mr. McD, they say it's not the years in your life, but the life in your years. Happy birthday!
Give me that.
And he was like, give me that.
Yeah.
And they straight up tells him that they're really worried about him. They're like, you have gold fever.
Mm-hmm.
There was no robbery. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like that. No one stole 87 cents from you. You're very, very sick.
Yeah, and if you continue this and you keep getting exposed to, the gold, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And he's very, calm, good on the voice actor, yes.
He's trying to be very calm, trying to reason with Scrooge.
Yeah.
What Launchpad means to say is, we're all really worried about you.
Some of us are just here to see you triumphantly capture the thief.
You have to face the truth. No one stole 87 cents from you. You have gold fever, and you're very, very sick. Any more exposure to gold could kill you.
No one. We see Webby still believes in Scrooge.
Yeah.
She's still
to a fault.
Yes. Insisting that he's right, that Scrooge is right, that there's...
That he's undefeatable, basically.
Yes.
And I'm like, he's just sick.
Yeah.
Because she goes on to say, she goes to his side, basically, and says, no, you're fine. And he says, it's not about sides.
It's not about sides. He's sick.
Yeah. I did get a little annoyed at Webby.
Yeah. I'm like, Webby, stop it. He's very sick. Look at him. And she holds his hand so that he's cute.
Yeah.
And Webby tries to get Dewey to join, get on her side. And she's like, There's something about your uncle shooting missiles on a plane at you and make you kind of doubt.
Yeah, because when we see them first, he does look really mad.
Yeah.
And then, like, he puts on the mask as well, and
Fair.
he's like, fuck that.
Yeah, because Webby, like, we know how highly Webby sees Scrooge, but it's definitely to a fault. Like, he's not right all the time. He's very sick.
Yeah.
And it's not about who's right or wrong.
Yeah, it's not about sides or anything. And then immediately Manny walks in and chooses the red kid's side.
Yeah. He also puts on a mask. And maybe my favorite line of the episode, Scrooge's "Et tu, headless man horse."
But yeah, and Gyro's also here. Yeah.
Yes, Gyro Launchpad. Gizmoduck is obviously also on Huey's side.
Yeah, so he's probably in the back of Scrooge to catch him if he bolts.
Yes, he's definitely, like, hanging back. And Scrooge calls them all, like, what, traitors?
Yeah, he does. He's like, fuck all of you, like, y'all are haters.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like, prove that, that there was an intruder. And they kind of gasp, like, oh, dude. And he's like, okay, there's a reasonable explanation for all of this.
He says it in a calm way that would have been calm if it wasn't for the fact that he's insane.
Yeah, and then this scene follows it. This is maybe the most unnerving scene.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, of Scrooge's whole thing.
Career.
Yes.
Because they walk into the vault.
Yeah.
And it's huge. And we see, like, you know, the what's it called?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. The
diving board, basically.
Yeah, like the ramp.
Yeah, whatever.
Platform,
yes, the platform.
Yeah. And hanging way over it is
like a conspiracy board.
Yeah, that's huge. It's like 20 feet tall.
Yes.
And he pulls on a rope that, like, pulls him up.
Yeah.
And he is explaining that it's all Chester, the interdimensional imp, who is behind this all.
So for the next scenes, it's all very dull.
It's very, it's like very dull lighting,
Yeah, and he's swinging back and forth, back and forth, in a really insane fucking way. Yeah. That's really, really scary.
Yes. It's so scary.
Like, I watched this episode late at night. Because school's hard, so I was watching it after Anna watched it. Yeah. And I was like, Anna, I'm scared. Yeah. You kept saying, like, you shouldn't be. Fuck!
Just this scene, because he's, like, his clothes, like we mentioned before, was his clothes are massive on him. Like, it looks like he's been losing a ton of weight. So he looks tiny. He's, like, swamped in his clothes. Yeah. He's swinging back and forth, like
he weighs nothing, that's the thing. He's, like, just, like, limp. Yeah. But then he's going back and forth and pointing at things.
Rambling about how Chester, the interdimensional imp, first licked all of his stuff,
stole his
spats, his 87 cents.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just, like, messing with him entirely. And we see that he has, like, all these conspiracy pictures and shit. Yeah. And there's the red thread forming, like, a demon-looking thing on the board.
Kind of like a bat.
Yeah.
Horn thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because with the implication that it's probably been days, considering how much weight he's lost.
Yeah. Because, like, he's laughing like a maniac. Yes. He drops back down and he's kind of crouching for a bit and looks insane. Yes. And Huey, like, steps forward and he's like,
look how much weight you've lost. Like, they're so fucking worried about him. Like, they were worried before. This is, like, a whole other level. He's, like, unhinged.
Yeah.
And then Scrooge insists that Chester puts his clothes on when he's asleep and stretches them out.
Yeah, and dances on them when he's asleep.
Dances in his clothes when he's asleep.
He prances in and out of reality, attacking me bit by bit. First, the sneaky scoundrel licked everything in my office and stole my spats. Then he nabbed my 87 cents. Oh, you think you have everyone fooled? But oh no, not me! I'm onto you!
Look at all the weight you've lost. Your clothes don't even fit.
That's Chester. He dances in my clothes while I sleep and stretches them all out.
And this finally breaks Webby. Like, he's very clearly not okay.
Yeah, like
this is the last straw.
He just sounds and looks and insane.
Yes. And so she's like, okay, maybe there is Chester. Maybe there is a Chester, but you are sick. Mm-hmm. And Scrooge is just in complete denial. I think I'll prove to you. I'm going to go count the gold myself.
Yeah.
And he starts walking over to the ramp, to the very end of the platform. And Huey goes to stop him first.
Yeah. He's like, you can't go back in. Like, more exposure will kill you.
Yeah. And then Webby tries to stop him next. So, for a moment, he, like, hesitates. Because they tell him, like, you know, that you're sick, you need rest. Yeah. And that's when he starts insisting that he's going to count the gold. Yeah. So Huey goes to try to stop, and he kind of, like, shoves them both away. Yeah. Like, he starts walking past them, shoves them away. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm not crazy.
Yes.
And I've been scared of, like, railless rampways ever since I watched The Force Awakens. But, yeah, this scene just goes all...
Yes, no, this next scene, like, it's everyone trying to stop him. Yeah. And so Webby tries to grab his ankle, and he shoves her off.
Yeah, he's very, like, shoving the kids.
Yeah, so then Huey tackles him, and so he throws Huey into Dewey. Yeah. And then he grabs Louie's hood and, like, twists it around his head and throws him back. Fucking launchpad.
Like, no, Mr. McDuck,
not your birthday!
But he also tackles
him, but then ends up on his back, so... Scrooge can run off. Yeah. But then Gizmo, like, just grabs him with the Extendo Inspector Gadget arm.
He grabs both Launchpad and Scrooge.
Because Scrooge grabs Launchpad as Gizmo, like, grabs him. And then they kind of spin around because he wasn't expecting the additional weight of Launchpad. Then all the kids jump on. Yeah. And they kind of fall to the ground on top of Scrooge. Yeah. Including the Gizmo suit.
Yes. And then we see Gyro looks at Manny and he's like...
They shrug. They're like, alright, better dogpile him too.
So they go for it too. Yeah. But then, like, even though he's so sick and weak, he lifts everyone up and tosses them.
Tosses them off of him. It's like when you're super sick to the point where, like, you feel nothing.
Yeah. It's that last, like, bit of adrenaline that your body gives you before you black out.
And so he runs to the very edge of the platform. Yeah. And, like, he's right over the gold. His eyes are sparkling.
Yeah. They're bloodshot. They're, like, sparkling.
Yes, he looks insane and horrible. And he goes to jump. Yeah. A little brief thing of, like, him starting to jump. And then it cuts. Yeah. So that cut, I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. So it cuts back to Roxanne in the news. And she's saying, like, fuck, like, it's so much has happened and Scrooge has gone so insane that all of the investors have given up on him.
Yeah, they've put all their stocks into Glomgold Industries, and Glomgold is now the richest duck in the world.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's surprised?
Yeah, like, Roxanne is like, he's the richest,
And Zan is also like, wow.
Yeah, like, and Glomgold is, like, shocked for a good couple seconds. He just kind of sits down at his desk. And Allison walks over to him and congratulating him, like...
I didn't believe that was going to happen at all.
Like, ever. And then they shake hands. Yeah. And Scrooge and Glomgold takes him a second, but then he's like, yeah, alright, fuck! Yeah! I can rather than Scrooge's fucking face! But
he's like, so he's, like, very, like, cheering and stuff, but then Roxanne gets... like, an update, a news update, and the tone shifts.
Yes.
Because she goes on to say, like, we just got the news that Scrooge McDuck is dead.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck has died of gold fever.
Yeah.
This just in. Scrooge McDuck has apparently died of gold fever.
Huh? And I'm like,
yeah, fuck! Shit! And this is maybe the most disturbing scene, just because, like, disturbing in, like, it's not like the conspiracy sports scene where he goes all Pepe Sylvia on them.
Take a look at this. Jesus Christ. That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia. So I say to myself, I gotta find this guy. I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands. Otherwise, he's never gonna get it. He's gonna keep coming back down here. So I go up to Pepe's office, and what do I find out, Mac? What do I find out? There is no Pepe Sylvia.
It's more like, I don't know, like, I never really expected to see Scrooge McDuck's funeral.
Yes.
First of all. Yes. And then second of all, I think societally we taboo in funerals and deaths. like really weird us out. So that's also an added to why it's so weird.
It's like the next scene is hilarious, but also like you're just really unnerved.
Yeah,
because it's a funeral.
Yes, it's a funeral, and his family. It's like a very small funeral.
Yes,
there's only like 10 people, maybe.
Yeah. A lot of them are kind of randos.
And then so we get a shot of his beautiful funeral portrait.
Yeah, it's a rest in profit.
Which I'm gonna get on my headstone.
It's good. And we see Donald sobbing. Right, Donald sobbing over his casket. They're at the mansion.
Yes.
And he's sobbing over Scrooge's casket, saying how he was too young.
Yeah, and he's like crying, and he runs off crying.
Out of the mansion, I guess, crying.
Yeah.
He was too young! Oh no!
He's obviously upset.
Yes.
I feel really, really bad for him.
Because the people at this funeral, we have Scrooge's board of directors, Gizmo Duck, full Gizmo Duck armor, Gyro, Little Bulb, the kids.
It was nice to see Little Bulb back.
Yeah, no, that was nice. Beakley, Mrs. Featherby.
Yes.
The vending machine guy.
Yeah, he's there as well.
The money bin. And, Roxanne Featherly, some rando, and that's it.
Yeah. Really small.
Yeah, very small funeral.
And I was like, wow, his board of directors actually looks upset.
Yeah, they actually do look upset that he's dead. And we see, like, the funeral stuff.
Yeah, the wreaths.
Yeah.
And there's probably, like, some refreshments.
Yeah.
Or are those just, like, stuff?
Yeah, just
I don't
stuff.
know.
But it's, like, somber, because Scrooge is fucking dead.
Yeah!
And the casket is open.
Yes.
So you can see bits of him.
Yeah,
so that's, like, extra unnerving.
That's almost, like, this shot specifically is really weird, because if you show this to anyone, like... It looks like a parody of, like, Scrooge, because he's so ageless.
Yes.
And he's immortal.
Yeah, basically.
That it's so weird to be like, this is a picture of Scrooge McDuck's
funeral. And as Donald runs out sobbing, Gizmo Duck engages bagpipes, and he does play well.
Yeah.
He starts playing the bagpipes.
Cool. But we get, like, this up aerial shot of everyone as Donald runs away.
And then...
Oh, no!
And so everyone looks super sad.
Yeah.
And then the doors burst open. But I swear, as I was watching this, I had to pause multiple times throughout the episode, because just descent into madness was just a lot to take in.
There were parts where I had to pause it, or I would get, like, the black screen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But this part.
And then...
Glomgold bursts in, wearing a full, like, white sequined,
sequined
suit with, like, Glomgold / like, money glasses.
Yes. Like shutter shades. Almost.
Yeah.
A very tall top hat with a little pom-pom thing at the top, like his normal tam o'shanter thing.
Yeah.
And DJ Collins! All I do is win! Accompanies him, I assume, in the actual show this is playing somehow.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
He has like a speaker set up somewhere.
Yeah.
And it is just indescribable, this scene.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never give up. Everybody hands go up, and they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
Because I watched this at 1 a.m, and I didn't even recognize it as a DJ Khaled song at the beginning. Just the song itself playing while he bursts into Scrooge's funeral,
and he dances.
He's dancing around. He is throwing money.
Yes. So we see kind of like little clips of him dancing in different spots, and we see the family really, really upset.
Everyone just fucking glaring at him.
Yeah. So I saw this episode like a day after it aired, and I had seen like on Twitter but I misunderstood it as they like that's the song that they thought about. While boarding this and like writing it. So the fact that the song was actually in this and it wasn't just like an edit or like a fake sound-alike song. It really fucking made me lose it at 2 in the morning.
It is. Good lord.
It's insane.
And it just, this whole scene is just like, it's unnerving.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because it's a funeral.
Yeah.
And like the mood is, you know, a funeral mood. Mm-hmm. And Glomgold is like dancing. He runs up to the casket and yells, "I win."
Yeah.
To what he presumes is Scrooge's corpse.
Yes, yes.
I win!
And, like, no one really stops him.
No.
Everyone's obviously upset.
Yeah.
But he's up there and he's, like, shaking his butt and
he's
everything.
Like dancing, he's throwing money, he's like having the time of his life.
Yeah.
And everyone's just glaring at him. Like they're pissed.
Even Little Bob does like shake hands, shake
his fist.
Yeah.
And because I mean, like, how would you react if this happened in a funeral?
Oh.
Like, how would you even if Scrooge were really dead? Spoilers. Like,
we're assuming you know.
Yeah. Like, just the fact that this is what Glomgold is doing at this funeral.
Yeah. Well,
and
I think in my family you would have been immediately tackled to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
By people.
It's just, it's
that. Yeah. It's the whole fact that, like, it's taboo thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's a funeral, you behave a certain way, and then, ooh. And so we see he's, like, kind of scrabbling to get onto the casket as Allison walks in.
Yeah,
and she sees this, like, oh, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and he's, like, scrambling, and he turns it around to look at her, and he's like,
help
me up!
Help me get up to the casket so I can dance on it, is what he says. Which, wow. And obviously everyone's glowing at Allison now. And so he's like, she's like, I'm so sorry. She like goes to like, she has to drag him down from the casket into their seats. God.
He's the worst.
He's like laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like even as he's being dragged, like he's talking shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'll let you all mourn the second richest duck in the world.
And he's like, I beat him, like, and then...
He's like cheering.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so, Allison drags him down to a seat. She's like, I think like you didn't beat him, Gold Fever did.
Yes. Like...
And even if you did, this would be a wildly inappropriate time to discuss it. And he starts to complain again, but she hands him a lollipop, because he's an actual child.
Yes. He's a children.
And so he goes up to give Scrooge's eulogy.
Yes. Which is also upsetting.
Oh my god, if Donald had been here while Glomgold was doing that, Glomgold would be fucking dead!
Yeah, he's the one that would have tackled him to the ground.
Yes, we needed Donald to be here. It would have ruined their whole plan, but it would have been very funny. It would be...
Alternate scene. He tackles Glomgold. Yeah. The casket goes down. Yeah. Tumbles down the stairs. Chaos surrounds. The body's on the floor.
Like, Donald would have ruined the whole fucking plan, and it ended up being Glomgold's funeral.
Yeah. Rest in peace, second of just...
God, no, Glomgold's fucking lucky Donald wasn't here. That would have been funny.
I would have, but...
Oh my god. Anyway. So Huey goes to give the eulogy.
Yes. And he goes up and he's, saying how, like, Uncle Scrooge taught them so much, you know. Most importantly, like, the power of listening to your family.
Yeah. I think we briefly see dead Scrooge.
Yes, we do.
In the casket. He has the coins on his eyes.
Which are probably a cultural thing.
It's a thing, I think it's a reference to, well, it's a thing in the Christmas Carol. That's how you would bury people in the olden time, 1800s.
Yeah.
I forget the reason. I think, like, historically it's like you give the money to the ferryman to cross over or whatever. I'm not sure the reason, like, in more England and, like, in, like, 1800s England and stuff, but it's a thing you put coins on their eyes.
Yeah.
But so he was giving this eulogy, and he's saying that, they only thought it was fair to Scrooge's memory to consider his theory after he died.
Yeah. Like, maybe there was someone.
Yeah, was there some master criminal genius who drove him to insanity and then death?
Yes.
But that, no. The sad truth was that there is no one capable of pulling off such a genius scheme.
Yes, and it's very, goading in its words.
Pointed, yeah. And we see that Glomgold is getting kind of pissed. He's chewing on his lollipop kind of angrily.
Yeah, because he keeps insisting, there's no way there's someone who's smart enough to ever pull off such a perfect
And his
plan.
last line, he's, insisting, he's like, Scrooge died of gold fever.
Mm-hmm.
To which Glomgold loses his shit.
Yes.
And stands up and yells, I did it!
If this hypothetical thief were real, he would have to have been a master genius. It would have to have been a scheme so elaborate and so complex, some might even call it the perfect scheme. Was this indeed a master criminal genius? In the end, the sad truth is, there could never be any master villain capable of pulling off such a genius scheme. Scrooge died of gold fever.
It was me! I did it! I'm the evil genius! It was me! And my... time teaser! Greatest scheme ever!
He was like, it was me! I'm the evil genius. I was capable of pulling this plan off.
It's me and my time teaser! He pulls out this stopwatch thing from his coat pocket.
Yeah.
And oh my god, he's like, in your face, Owlson! Yeah. Dead Scrooge! Mourning family!
He's the fucking worst!
Oh my god, and then we see, and then he's like, and this is how I did it.
Yeah.
And so we get this whole thing, it's week, from however many week, and we see Dead Scrooge with the coins on his eyes. Christ. And so we see how we did it.
Yeah.
We see however many days or weeks
ago.
Yeah.
So we saw that the clattering was actually the time teaser, or they took a stopwatch.
When Scrooge whacked the cart full of science waste or whatever, the time teaser fell out, and Glomgold picked it up.
Yeah.
Not knowing what it was, but knowing that it was McDuck Enterprise technology.
Yeah. So then later at the meeting, when he was sitting down and Allison was prepping him or whatever, he started fidgeting with it and he accidentally sets it off.
Yeah.
And the whole world kind of gets this blue hue to it.
Yeah.
And
everyone's frozen.
Yeah, and he's the only one that can move around. But he doesn't really get that still. He's just kind of what's happening.
Yeah, he thinks Allison's making fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which fair.
He's like, ha, very funny. Mm-hmm. And so he's very dumb. And because he goes up to her and she's not moving, obviously. Yeah. And doesn't acknowledge him in any way. And so he leaves. He leaves the office. Sees that everyone is frozen.
Yeah.
Leaves the building. Mm-hmm. I love that they have the birds in flight and
you can kind of
hear a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you can kind of hear sound, but it's kind of delayed.
Yeah.
And it's everything is frozen.
Yes. We see birds, we see cars, a guy dude on a motorcycle, he stops by a park with an old lady feeding birds, and he's like, why aren't you moving?
And he grabs a pigeon and he shoves it in the bird feed.
Yeah. And he's like, it's some kind of game.
Yeah.
And he goes over to a baby in a carriage and steals his lollipop. And he's like, answer me, baby. And he then proceeds to have a staring contest.
For 12 months.
Yes, with this baby.
Yes.
And we see there's piles of food around him. So he left, got food, came back to continue the staring contest.
And then he goes off and he says, you have a strong will, baby. You remind me of a young me.
Yeah. And he, drags himself back to the money bin. After a year. It's been a year. It's been a fucking year.
The whole last year.
Drags him back to the money bin and kind of collapses on the table on top of the time teaser.
Yeah.
And that's in that moment we saw early in the episode where it looks like he's asleep.
Yeah, yeah. And then he kind of jolts up and he's like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
And that's when Allison is like, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. And he realizes he has the time teaser and he's like, oh shit. And so he frees time again.
Yeah.
And his fucking, it took him 12 months to realize what he had done. And his voiceover line is like, after mastering space and time.
Now he has the power.
Yeah, he decides to rob Scrooge blind. Is his first plan.
Yes.
Because he froze time. Mm-hmm. And they actually the logistics of how the fuck you would rob a money bin that's 100 feet deep. Mm-hmm. First, he tries to dive into the money bin because he freezes time with Scrooge poised to jump in.
Yeah. And he proceeds to break all of his ribs.
I can't believe God Glomgold's fucking dead. Like, literally, like, cause he goes to jump, like, slips, hits his back, and then falls forward 100 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And he has, like, a second where he's, like, gasping. Because he broke all his fucking ribs. But as we've learned, Glomgold is impervious to pain.
Yes. So he's fine. Then he proceeds to try to stuff every, like, pocket in his clothing and go up, but he can't,
it's
like,
too heavy,
physically.
And I love the, like, just the logistics of how he would get money out of here without blowing a hole in the side of the building.
Yeah. So he tries to, like, throw up a sack, but he obviously can't reach the thing. And it's just not working out.
And so he climbs back out with 87 cents in his pocket.
Because he realizes, like, it's not even about, like, robbing him blind. Like, just the fact of stealing a few coins, like, it's gonna make him go fucking insane.
Yeah. And just the switch, so, like, looking at this as a Glomgold that's, like, a continuation of his arc from Ballad of Duke Baloney, where his, like, he is reminded of how much he hates Scrooge.
Yeah.
And his, like, whole goal, his determination to, like, beat Scrooge is, like, renewed. Like, his hatred of Scrooge is brought back. Like, it's stronger than ever in that episode. And we see here the continuation of that. He no longer, I mean, before now, he's always wanted to kill Scrooge. Like, he has, like, every other week some dumbass thing that never ever works. And the fact that this almost worked. And not just that, not just killing Scrooge, he wanted to make him suffer.
Yeah, he make him suffer and, like, ruin his reputation.
Yes.
Ruin, like, his connection with his family. Like, everything.
Yeah, and just, like, how this is actually a very well thought out plan. Like, it took him a fucking while to figure it out, but he did it.
Yeah, it's very, very well executed. Because he goes on to say, like, we get to see, like, the little bits exactly where he messed with Scrooge.
Yeah. Like, just, like, it's like the logistics of everything. So he would freeze time every so often. Because, like, he did, like, what Allison said, to act poised, to act calm. Yeah. And he did.
Yeah, he
like,
did. Because we
hiding all the insanity he was doing.
Yeah, we would see him when we would get shots back to his office. He was, like, sitting and he was very calm, reacting to news pretty calmly. And sometimes he'd go off the chains, but, like,
yelling at windows.
That's
pretty normal for Glomgold.
So we see, like, he goes back, like, when he was getting yelled at, like, he stops time and he goes to where the kids are counting the coins, and he takes, like, he
types up the gold fever thing, which isn't real. He makes it up, types it up, and puts it in the Gene Woodchuck guidebook, somehow knowing that he would believe it, because we trust the all-powerful Woodchuck guidebook.
So
then it goes more buck wild. He gets a devil costume.
Yes, for the fuck of it. Yeah. And to mess with Scrooge.
Mess with Scrooge specifically. So, like, he freezes time and tickles him with a feather to make him itchy. Yes. And I guess does that multiple times. And then, wearing the devil costume, he glues Gizmo Duck's helmet copter thing shut on the back of the helmet so he can't open it.
Yeah. And then he's, like, the Chester we saw, because we actually see him run off into the bridge.
Yeah. And for this time, for Scrooge to see him for a split second, and then vanish so no one else can.
Yeah.
And then licks all of Scrooge's stuff.
Which I was like, ew.
Gross. But just, like, freezing, unfreezing time, stretching out Scrooge's clothes.
Yeah. And just, like, fucking them up, so now he looks extra tiny and disheveled.
Yeah. And so Scrooge was right. Yeah. Because he did see Glomgold for that split second, but being sick, extremely sick.
Yeah.
Like, probably high fever, delusional. Because of all of his being sick and the stress of losing money. That he sees this demon thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Glomgold wanted him to see.
Yeah. And it's insane. And he ends this with, like, a Glomgold evil laughter. Yeah. But before he can get very far, we see from the casket in, like, a horrifying little scene.
The body of Scrooge starts to rise. Yeah. But it's actually Manny. Yeah. Whose face they've painted to look like living Scrooge. Yes. And the coins fall from his eyes, and it's like, oh Christ.
He, like, turns, and he hits Glomgold, which I hadn't realized how he had fallen into, like, I did notes.
Whacks him down the flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And, like,
he's like, you're alive?
Yeah, you're back, you're alive? Yeah. As a horse?
And
And the timepiece falls out of his pocket.
Yeah, and we see him Mystery Man rise.
Yeah.
And he's like, of course I'm alive, and he takes off like a mask.
Yeah.
And it's Scrooge.
It's Scrooge! In disguise, with a wig and a hat and a fake face. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm fucking alive.
Yeah.
I took my family's advice and, like, didn't kill myself.
Yeah. So we see that he did go, like, you know, to jump into the bin.
Yeah.
But he gets kind of, you know, he sneezes and he's like, okay, you know, like, what?
Yeah, like, his illness very quickly catches up to him, and he's like, okay, maybe I am sick.
Yeah.
And Huey goes over to him and, like, telling him, I don't think you have gold fever either, though.
Because at this point, he's holding the Junior Woodchuck guidebook, and the page about gold fever starts to, like, fall off.
I took my own advice and listened to my family. Okay, maybe I am a wee bit sick.
But maybe you're not crazy.
And so he said, like, Scrooge goes back to saying, like, so I rested for a couple days, and then we talked about it, basically.
Yeah.
And
put our heads together.
Yeah, like, what could be happening.
And then realized it was all you.
Yeah.
And so they put together this whole elaborate fake funeral to get him to admit to fraud.
Yeah, yeah.
And they recorded it all.
Yeah. So the Scrooge says, like, legally I'm still, like, the richest duck.
Yeah, because the money wasn't acquired through... It was acquired through fraudulent means.
Yeah.
It made Scrooge go insane. It made everyone think he was going insane. When it was really just him messing with him entirely.
Yeah. And he's looking very smug and like, yeah,
and Scrooge in a suit. It was weird to see him wearing like a full suit.
It
with
was.
Pants.
It was.
Weird.
That's what was weird about that.
Yeah.
Pants.
Yeah, the pants. And shoes. He's wearing shoes.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Don't like that.
See Scrooge wearing shoes.
So,
and then Donald comes back in.
Yeah.
And we realize that nobody told Donald that it was fake funeral. Like,
yes.
Did he never see Scrooge at the house, like, resting or talking about the whole plan?
I guess not. He thought he was in the...
I guess did they need Donald to sell it? That's rough. Hey, let's make you think your uncle's dead now, too.
Because he's like, you're alive.
And then he passes out. Like, he thinks his sister's dead.
Yes.
Like, can you not take this from him, too?
Thank you.
You forgot to tell Donald?
Whoops.
He's an orphan with no family but his kids.
I know. And Dewey goes to Louis, like, did you forget to tell?
Yeah.
To tell him? God, Louis.
Louis the worst.
And so, like, Scrooge's whole family is, like, you know, going up to Glomgold, like, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
Like, I have my family to keep me grounded.
Yeah.
And so we fucking beat you. We always will.
Hey.
And then I think Glomgold gets pissed and goes to grab the timepiece from him. And they fight over it. Like, it's, like, actually, like, a pretty, like, it's very brief, but it's, like, kind of intense.
Yeah.
They're, like, they hit the casket, which is, like, nothing in it, but it's still a casket. And they go flying out the window.
Yes. But we see that they don't hit the ground because someone hit the time teaser
and it reversed
froze.
it. Yeah. So they're frozen in time.
Yeah.
I guess they wait till night.
Yeah,
they just leave them there for a while. They talk to all the other guests.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like Roxanne can tell everyone he's not dead.
Yeah, like they have dinner.
Yeah.
They finally go get this.
I wonder if since Roxanne was obviously in on this because she's present at the funeral, if they did like
a limited broadcast.
Broadcast just to Glomgold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. If not, like, psych, it's just another Scrooge McDuck shenanigan.
Yeah, he's not dead.
Sounds about right.
But, so, they wait till nighttime to go get them down. Yeah. And Beakley puts a ladder up, and she's like, so, to the kids, what happens, what do you do when the next time your uncle goes out of suspicion? The next time.
Yeah.
So, this will definitely happen again.
And Huey, Dewey, and Webby are like, you know, call Mrs. Beakley. Yeah. And Louis very, like, straightforward is all like...
Fake Scrooge's death. He's like, Sally, you said so much little shit when he says it. It's so fucking funny. And so Beakley only gets Scrooge as like tucked under her arm.
Like a football.
Yeah, honestly, if they just called her, she would just fucking broken in, grabbed Scrooge, and walked out. And like locked him in his room in the mansion.
Like, you're sick, you're staying in bed, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Sucks to suck. Literally, none of this would have happened. They just called. They should have broken into the money bin, grabbed Scrooge, and that would have been it.
Yeah. But no. And he goes to say, like, thank you, and he's like, don't even mention it.
Really, please don't. It's the latest in, like, a long line of bullshit just to put up with. Wait, so they don't waste time and they just let Glomgold fall and break his spine on the ladder?
Yeah, because he falls on the ladder and then he falls on the ground.
He passes
out.
Jeez. He's, like, unconscious. And so Scrooge takes the 87 cents from Glomgold.
Yes. And then he starts to leave and then comes back and licks
his
Glomgold's glasses.
And then puts them back like, ha, I'm gonna final fuck you. Like, this guy made him go insane, and he's so chill about it.
Yeah, he's like, fine, you know, I didn't die.
Yeah, he's like, it's fine, it's cool.
Yeah. Like, he literally says, like, see you next week. Like, see you tomorrow. Or see you tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, okay. I think Glomgold may be in the hospital. But
Glom's gonna wake up in the morning and get breakfast with them. Like, it's
gonna be fun. They just leave him on the they leave him in the back lawn.
Yeah. And so I'm like, can you let me...
Get lost. Call an Uber. But, yeah, that's the 87-cent solution.
Yeah, fun.
There's a funeral.
Yes.
See you tomorrow, Flinty.
And I know there's, the references.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of references in this episode. We talked about the gold fever thing, the Armstrong force field thing, and the time teaser is a reference from the episode The Time Teaser. I forget, I can't remember if it's plural or not. I think it's plural, time teasers, whatever. Episode of Original DuckTales, episode something. It's, the origin of the time teaser there is buck wild, though.
Really?
It's, God, I rewatched the episodes so I could make sure I knew what was up, and my God, gyro. So, time teasers. Gyro in the 87 series has what apparently has a invention of the month subscription club thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where anyone who is subscribed gets a new invention every month.
He did Loot Crate before anyone else did.
Yes, he did. Though he shouldn't have, because his inventions are dangerous to mankind. And his invention of the month for this month is something that can control time. It's the time teaser. He's in like a shitload of them apparently. Because he's showing, like, I think he has just one right now that he shows to the boys. And, like, it does the exact same thing it does here.
Yeah.
Frees time. And, he's gonna just give these to people.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, no one will be late to a meeting again. And, like, shit like that. And I'm like, Gyro!
He never, like, understands that there's, like, an evil, like, maybe people will use it for good.
Yeah, I'm like, Gyro, you have mastered the forces of space and time, Gyro! What the hell? Don't just give it to people!
Yeah.
Gyro! Invention of the month means, like, a fucking waffle maker that lets you know when your waffle is done.
Yeah, like a banoodle, do you remember?
Yes!
Something like that! Not like,
yes, Gyro, great!
Like, something that could be weaponized.
Yeah. And obviously the kid with the boys steal it.
Yeah.
For not like bad reasons, but well, kinda. They rig a baseball game. Oh my gosh. And there's guns, like, the Beagle Boys are, like, robbing the concession stand, and the Beagle Boys have a gun, which they take out of the Beagle Boys' hand and then give to the cop. And they don't freeze time, and the cop starts shooting, and can't hit the Beagle Boys, who are 5 feet away from him. Whatever. Then the Beagle Boys get the time teaser, and whatever. But, yeah, so it's Gyro's invention, and he's a dumbass who should not be trusted with dangerous technology that alters the fabric of space and time, Gyro! Anyway, yeah. That's the time teaser reference.
Nice.
And I love it, like, this thing that can control time was just in a pile of random other bullshit.
Of trash, basically. Yeah.
Gyro.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah.
And some other references, right?
Yes. It's also the stopwatch that can stop time is also seen famously in The Twilight Zone.
That's probably where the original time teasers
Yeah.
got the reference.
So it's from the episode called A Kind of Stopwatch. basically the rundown is that the main guy is just this really, really, really boring guy. Huh. Like, he nonstop talks, but he's super annoying. No one can fucking stand him. Huh. But he gets gifted this, like, stopwatch, like a time teaser, and he starts using it, but, like, it's really funny to me because it kind of has that feeling of the other Twilight Zone episode where it's like, you get sort of what you want, but you can't do anything with it. Yeah. Because, like, yeah, he can stop time, but if he can't talk to people, like, they're still not going to pay attention to him because he can't use it. Yeah. So he kind of, like, goes, like, crazy. Oh, shit. So he's, like, a failed business person. Like, he can't sell his products because he's just so annoying. Yeah. So he comes up with a plan that in order to get money, he's going to rob a bank. Okay. So he stops time and tries to rob a bank. Yeah. But in the process of doing all of this, he breaks the time teaser. Or the stopwatch. Yeah. And he is basically stuck in a world where, like, everything is basically gone because he can't, like, unstuck them, and he's someone who loves to talk, and he can't talk to anyone, so he's gonna go insane that way. Yeah, I thought it was really funny. I, for some reason, confused this episode with, like, the famous, like, There Is Time Now for some reason. Where, like, the apocalypse happened and there's only one guy is left. Yes. For some reason, I was like, wait, that's not a watch? Yeah. That's just, like, the world ends. But it's the same, like, well, you're fucked. Like, you personally did something to this universe and you are personally fucked. But yeah. But it's also the title reference to the 7% solution, because it's 87 cent solution, which is both what... my notes in the front. What Sherlock calls his, like, concoction of cocaine. What the fuck?
DuckTales crew? Why are you referencing drugs?
But it's also famously, like, a famous, not like a Arthur Conan Doyle book, but a pastiche that someone wrote and a movie that someone eventually did called The 7% Solution, which is... It's wild, because I haven't read it, but I know of it, because I
wonder how they reference, like, how it works with the 87 cent solution.
7 cent, just...
No, but, like, what it means.
What do you mean?
What does 87 cent solution mean?
I don't know. Is it just, like, an actual solution? Not, like a solution to a problem, and not just, like, a... like a chemistry solution.
Well, I mean, there it is. The 7 cent, but there's no drugs here.
No, there's not. It's a really recognizable phrase. Yeah. Like the 7% solution. It's also like the pastiche, which is wild because this is basically the book that says the final problem and the empty house, which are the stories where Sherlock dies and returns respectfully. Sure. Never actually happened. Like, John Watson wrote that as a cover-up because that was the time in, like, a 2-3 years span in which Sherlock was actually really struggling with his drug habit, and some other, like, having to stop, like, a world war happening thing happened.
That's the 7 cent solution.
That's the 7 cent solution, which is, like, a book that someone wrote in the 70s, and then it became a movie as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, that could work with, like, Scrooge losing his shit, and then making a cover of him dying.
Yeah.
But, so that's the 87 cent solution. I believe we have a question.
Yes.
It's anonymous. Chester. Chester says, Scrooge basically led someone else down a different path than the one he originally intended. He tried to inspire Glomgold with how he started in the world, but it backfired and he became Scrooge's enemy. Now with Louis... Oh, sorry, this question is meant to be for... Whoopsie, this question is meant to be for... Outlaw Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. We saw Glomgold and thought it was this episode. We'll still acknowledge it, though. Yes. So, now with Louis, he's inspired to be more like Goldie, despite Scrooge encouraging to be more like him with his story. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess, Scrooge just can't lead people down the right path.
Well, he shouldn't expect people to follow his immediate path. I think that's also his fault.
Yeah. Also, with Glomgold, that was all his fault. That's
he was straight up his fault.
He was a douche.
Y'all know where we stand about that. Yes. We yelled about it.
Yes. And with Louis, I mean...
He'll learn.
Yeah, Louis will learn not to be like Goldie.
Yeah.
Because Goldie lives a lonely life, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Because
well, she's deprived herself of, like, human connection.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. That we've seen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like, she might be rich.
Yeah.
She might be happy in that perspective, but, you know.
I think that's all for questions. Yes. And so you can find us on Amores Patos.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Mm-hmm. There's a hyphen in between the words.
Does that matter?
Yeah, because there's another one. I told you this already. I mean, you'll find us immediately. Our logo is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Twitter is where we post all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I update that much more frequently because it's less of a hassle.
Yeah. It's also, like, more of, like, the community is usually available as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you find us on Tumblr at Amores Patos Podcast.
Mm-hmm. You can also email us at amorespatospodcast@gmail.com. And
thank Michael at Disturbing Graffiti for our lovely cover art.
She shakes her head every time she says
that.
Yeah,
you don't get to see that. It's a shame.
But yeah.
Saludos, amigos.
Saludos, amigos.